About 10 months ago, as I'm recording this video, I released something I called the Game Chain. It was a very simple project with some very basic gameplay and not much depth or content at all. But the idea was that people could remix it and add new stuff, and we'd just create a chain of remixes in multiple branches so that from one game we create multiple different genres of game and it could become developed. And so it worked pretty well. Um, and I figured I should make a video updating on how it's gone, so that potentially we can get another wave of remixes and attention, uh, and see if we can get it to go even further. So here's what we have so far of the Game Chain. I would say that the Game Chain currently has two main branches and a few smaller branches. So there's two branches that have been remixed a lot. One of them being one of the first ones, and the other's gone in a different gameplay direction. The first one has reached like 30 remixes, and that's just the longest chain. There's also like one or two smaller ones on there that didn't really go anywhere. And currently, the gameplay is pretty similar to the original. So there are some changes, like, for example, we have like 20 different skins in the game, and there's a lot of enemy variety. There's this account called QB Duty, and that's actually my main Scratch account. So I've actually been involved in the game chain myself. It hasn't just been other people. Another big change that I actually did somewhere later on is instead of just pressing space to attack the nearby enemies, you can hold down Z to charge up a stronger attack. That it's sort of new, and some people had different opinions on it. But one thing I like about the game chain is if you want something to be different, you can just remix it and change it. And if other people don't like it, they'll just remix a different branch, which means the game will actually have multiple different versions that fit to different people. The second branch is smaller and less developed, but personally I actually kind of like it a bit more. In this one, there's a bit less enemy variety, and there's no charging up system, but there's a shop mechanic where you can upgrade your abilities. And I really like this system because there's progression. Like, you start off feeling kind of weak, but you get stronger. However, the game also gets stronger because it has dynamic difficulty, which I think the first one also has, where it'll just spawn in more enemies the further you go. So while you'll be able to like insta kill things, there'll be like 100 enemies on screen. So you still have to be careful. And it's just pretty fun. And I also forgot to mention, but both games have a boss. They both feel a little bit mediocre and just like very tough enemies, but it's fine. The shop system was a bit weird until I came in and rewrote the script though. But I'm not gonna take too much credit for it, I just did some code. I feel like this could use a bit more enemy variety, and I actually have no idea what these green things do. But since it's the game chain, you could come in and remix it and add more enemies. In fact, if I feel like it, I might. Just a small thing that isn't too important, but there's seems to be some sort of reoccurring character, just Bob the Galaxy, and he has like a family. I don't really know much about it, except that one person's doing it. I'm not sure who. Yeah. I also wanted to mention every branch, even if they're tiny. So some of them will be quick. There's this one that I started maybe a few months ago, I think. That just changes the movement system so that there's gravity, and you can jump up to hit them. And it was actually, I believe, recently remixed, so that you can click to attack anywhere instead of around you. But that's only had 2 or 3 remixes, so it's pretty bare bones right now. So feel free to go and expand that how you want. There was also another one that doesn't seem too different, but there's this guy that can charge up a really big attack. And there's also another that doesn't seem to change too much, but it changed up the skins of some things. You know, when I made the video showcasing the game chain idea, I was expecting there to be a few, like, joke, goofy projects. But surprisingly, there didn't seem to really be anything. So I was like, fine, I'll do it myself.
Fire in the hole! 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 Fire in the hole!
So that is the current state of the game jam. Game jam. And I'm So that is the current state of the game chain. And I'm hoping that by making this video, we can get a lot of new remixes and potentially push these branches further and make some new ones. So if you have ideas, feel free to remix. And if you think an idea has more potential, you can remix that and branch off it. And insert outro here.